So, getting back to it, to the Mark III, another 22, which, well, actually, I think, if anything, we'd probably say for the Mark III and Mark IV, even if the Mark IV Whisper is also a thing that exists, doesn't matter. I think we can put them at least in D tier, below the Match 22. Because they're essentially the same fucking thing. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and just do that right quick. Let's go ahead and move on to the Mark 23. So, the Mark 23 is, I think, actually a small bit of history with it as well. There you boys go. That is the Mark 23 right there.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's I actually don't know that much about this gun.
Same.
Is it possible it's a Heckler and Koch?
Let's have a look here. It was in fact made by Heckler and Koch.
I could guess from the back of the gun because a lot of H&Ks have that, like that hammer style.
Oh, you know what? I actually kind of fucked
something up. How does it perform in the game?
So,
like, what are the stats on it?
In the game, it is a 45 ACP, which doesn't exactly have anything too terribly special. It won't have any special. Well, it's essentially a 9mm, but bigger. So it does a little bit more damage, naturally, which is nice. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, let me look into. Obviously, the stats are pretty nice. I had a nice sort of reload rating. Sight picture was good, and if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to see. Oh, actually, sure enough, popular culture. Sure enough, the Mark 23 SOCOM was used by your boy Solid Snake. So it's pretty radical. I think it was also
Solid Snake.
I think it was also
good old Navy SEALs. Oh wait, no, oh Jesus Christ, am I retarded?
It's possible.
No, wait, no, yeah, it is. Oh Jesus, fuck. I don't know. I'm not Navy or Marines or anything.
No, that's fine.
I don't know what they do.
Your Army. Yeah, your Army, man.
Yeah.
What do you expect? But another thing also, I think also the Mark 23 was also used by Sam Fisher in Splinter Cell. So that's kind of rad. At least I think it was. Could be wrong, but I would say, I mean, where are we putting this, boys? Like, you know, it is used by some of the more popular characters out there, sure, but is there really anything more?
But that doesn't mean it's another cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's another cookie cutter. So
the Mark 23 is fully ambidextrous.
That is true. And that is kind of cool.
Which is nice.
So,
but I do have one gripe about it.
Yeah.
And that is where the magazine release is.
Oh, the mag release is like right there, isn't it?
Yes. So the magazine release is right there. So here's the thing: is if you're not used to shooting 45, say you typically you carry like 9mm, and then you buy into the hype that 45 is a better caliber, which to a certain extent it is.
Yes.
To a certain extent, yes, it is. The problem, though, is going from a 9mm to a 45, you're not going to be ready for the kickback on this. And so where that magazine release is, if you do not have proper control of the pistol, you will end up dropping your magazine while you are firing.
Yeah, I can see that, honestly.
Which I can say, oops.
Because as someone who used to own an HK45, which it's pretty much the exact same style. Okay, they're pretty much the exact same. Only difference is that I believe the HK45 is just slightly shorter than the Mark 23. But I had it happen to me where I went from a 9mm to a 45, and yeah, I was not ready for that. I mean, I would say it's a high quality pistol. It's made by HK. Of course, there is my little personal dilemma with it, with the magazine release. Going from a 9mm to a 45 definitely did not help.
No.
Yeah, I was definitely not ready for dropping my magazine at the range in front of other people. That was very embarrassing. Not a good moment for me. Anyway, it's yeah, I mean it's light, it's dependable. It's chambered in 45. There's a reason that SOCOM uses it.
Yeah. So, would you think maybe like putting it maybe above the F12?
To be honest, I would actually put it in B tier.
Really?
I would put it in B tier above the integrally suppressed pistol.
Damn. Quite
Mainly
something.
because it is proven.
It is definitely proven for sure. So I can
is
see
proven.
that. It is very proven. All right.
Because if the SEALs can use it, or if the SEALs use it, then it is definitely a good weapon.
Yeah, it is definitely tried and true for sure. So
Yes.
we'll give it credit where credit is due. And
So.
moving on from that, we have the P5 Compact. This bad boy.
Okay. Looks like it's based off of the Walther PPK.
Definitely looks like it for sure. So let's look into the Walther P5. Mid-70s, designed for German police. It's chambered 9x19. Select picture was good. Reload rating was great. As far as I can see, A+1, 9x18. Pretty standard stuff in the looks of it. Nothing really specialized per se. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it's nothing special. Let's see. Successful and functional design and high-level functionality confirmed by experts. No great sales within Germany or exported. So this thing didn't exactly go very far. But it definitely has... I mean, I think, yeah, so 3,000 units were adopted by the British Army, and looks like it's pretty much about it.
It does look like a little snazzy pistol.
It does actually look pretty good, I will admit.
With the wood grip, it does look stylish.
Yeah. Actually looking at it, it does actually look pretty. It does look pretty snazzy. Like it looks good.
Like
I would say at least like high C tier. It is an A+1, so I'd probably say maybe under, like above the Makarov for sure. Highest I'd go is maybe B tier, maybe under the Glocks, possibly.
Possibly. Well, how's the damage? Sorry, how's the damage in the game?
That's 9 mil, so it's okay. I won't go through body armor, but it is okay. So I'd say probably above the Makarov, I think, would probably be good for it.
Yeah, I would actually disagree. I would not say that it's above the Makarov. Because, again, the P5 wasn't really... I mean, like you said, it wasn't really adopted all that much. You know?
Yeah,
it's not true. Really... It hasn't had enough time to actually prove itself in a combat role, I would say.
That's fair. So, probably... I think maybe above the GSH, but below the F12?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Dom, you have any input for this?
For which one?
The P5 Compact.
No.
Okay, next up we have the P22. I think y'all know where this is going. It is a little bit different, but it's 22. And is simply... Well, it's literally just a P99, but it's a 22. So I think you know where this is going. So we have the good old Walther P38, and
another classic.
Another great sort of classic here. My goodness, look at this old tank.
It's an iconic pistol.
It's iconic, but I don't like the look of it. I'm sorry.
It does have an odd look to it.
Odd.
Visually, yes, it is odd. It is distinct. However, it was the primary sidearm of the German Wehrmacht.
That is true. The Wehrmacht definitely used this. It is very iconic, especially for that reason. It was a very, very capable pistol compared to something like P08. This thing was good for sure. And I would definitely say this possibly could go to B tier because of the iconic legend with this thing as well. Not saying this is is essentially like not saying this is like
rapport.
Here's the thing: would it go above the Luger, though?
That is a difficult question, being the fact that technically the Luger is a pre-World War II design. It was just so effective, but its just design was a bit esoteric, which is why it was reserved for officers generally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think if anything, I would say possibly the P38 might actually go above it, maybe, but
Okay.
it's hard to say for certain. And it was also designed in 1938 and was produced at about the start of World War II. So this is very much a World War II style gun. This was seen probably a lot of combat, so I would definitely say...
Most definitely.
I would say this is definitely B tier for sure. This has seen a lot of combat. So the question is, where's the question? Just where should we put this?
Honestly, I would put it at the bottom of B tier.
I think I can see that. So moving on from there, we have the P226 Mark 25. So this is P226. Classic sort of, classic sort of 6-Sawyer, I believe it is. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so I think of everything as a very classic 6-Sawyer 9mm.
Me, I've always had a... Dear God, I don't want to call it a crush on the P226. I do like the P226, like the way it looks, and I've actually shot one before. They are very nice.
Oh yeah, they like
very nice.
I'm not saying it's not bad, but I'm looking at it, I was like, why does it look like a 1911 knockoff? I'm trying not to...
Dudo.
Dudo. I mean, yeah, it's literally just a boxier 9mm version of a 1911. I can see that. But one thing that is actually kind of cool that I do know about it is that it does have a decocker.
It does.
Which, compared as well also to the M9, is that though it doesn't exactly have a safety, it does actually have a decocker, which is actually a really interesting little feature. And I do admittedly kind of like this thing a little bit. Like, fuck. I don't know, I'm trying not to let personal bias get into the way of this, because I've messed around with it in Receiver 2, and this thing is honestly pretty fun. So, looking into it...
I would say, because what's at the top of C tier right now? It's
top of C tier is the M9.
Beretta, correct?
Yeah, Beretta M9 is top.
I would put the P226 right around there.
So probably above the CZ75.
Because P226s are actually very good day-to-day carry guns. I know that there are a lot of people that do carry it, and a lot of people love it. And there are even people that use them for shooting contests.
I can definitely.
But those are usually gonna be usually like your tricked out ones, like the Glock 17, where they have the one with the sight on it that we put up in B tier. They basically look like that a little bit.
Yeah,
with the folded out grip and everything. they're not pistols, and they have great recoil mitigation.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very nice gun.
Oh yeah. So I would definitely see this just below the M9.
Yeah.
And riding that
just below the M9 because it's not as proven as the M9, but it's still a good gun though.
Yeah, for sure. Running on that same train, we have another version of the P226, but in 45 ACP. We have the P250. Even though it does say P350, but that's only because, fuck, it's made by Boyer, so fuck it. So this is the P250. I promise, it's P250.
So this, I don't know that much about. It looks a lot like a... what the hell is it called? I believe it's called a P320, which is a 9mm variant. It also looks a lot like the Army's brand new M17 that just came out recently. And it's chambered in 45. I've actually never fired a Sig Sauer that's been chambered in 45, I mean. So I don't have too much experience on it. I would assume it would be like going from a 9mm to a 45. Like the definitely has more recoil, but it's definitely more lead you're slinging down range. How is it damage-wise in the game?
That's usual 45 ACP stuff, so definitely capable. I don't think I
Okay.
actually have gone and talked about what 45 ACP has.
Yeah, if you would like to tell us a little bit about the stuff that they have.
So 45 ACP, nothing exactly special about it. It like I said, it's about similar to the 9x19. It's similar to 9mm. I think it's slightly different in damage, but it's not by too much that's going to be entirely different. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as far as I've seen, and even looking through the guide here, it does say it is better than 9x19 in terms of general ballistics, but looking at the stats itself, it's not terribly different to 9mm.
Okay. So looking at the pictures that I have on my end, it does have. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's not striker fired. It does have a hammer, but I don't believe it's actually like a hammer. You can actually pull it back with your thumb.
Yeah.
I honestly don't understand the reasoning behind that design. I mean, I'm pretty sure there has to be a reason for it. What that reason is, I don't know because I'm not well versed in those kinds of pistols. Seeing as how it is a 6-hour, they do generally make very good firearms. I mean, I honestly can't really say anything negative about it. Seeing as how I haven't fired one that's chambered in 45. So I would say, honestly speaking, I would put that in C tier. And I would put that above the what is it? It's not the yeah, I would put it above the Makarov. Is the next one, oh god, is that called a Lebedev?
So this is the PL14.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay.
It's fine. So PL14 is another 9mm. It is very different.
Oh, it is a Lebedev. The PL14 Lebedev. Never mind. I'm smart. Yay!
Yes, you are, yes.
Anyway,
The Lebedev pistol. So this is the PL14.
all right. So from what I can see, the Lebedev is a Russian pistol.
Yes.
Uh,
Russian semi-auto.
so
That's
it's
from Russia.
I've seen this pistol in video games a lot. I have never fired one. Honestly, I probably never will because how would I ever get one? So I don't see the ban on Russian firearms lifting anytime soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because they do have some very nice firearms.
They do. Very much so.
I haven't heard anything bad about the PL14. I haven't heard anything good about the PL14. That's also because I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's, from some of the pictures that I'm looking at, it looks like it's made to be like the Russians' version of the Mark 23. It looks like.
It definitely seems like it. And I don't know if I really want to.
It does. It has that look because when you look at the Mark 23 with the suppressor and the laser flashlight or whatever it is on there, and then you look at the PL14 Lebedev, it also has like the suppressor and the laser light whatever on it, and so it looks like that's possibly what they made it for, maybe.
Yeah.
But apparently this is chambered in 9x19 millimeter.
Yes, it is in fact 9mm. Oddly enough. So, question.
Yeah,
now
honestly,
is,
the Wikipedia page that I'm looking at right now is not very long. It is very short.
Yeah, it's pretty short. There isn't really much you can see about it.
Oh god. The trigger pull, apparently the weight is 4 kilograms.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a heavy trigger pull for a 9mm.
Yeah.
Good god.
Well, where are we placing this one, boys?
Well, I would say I don't have that much knowledge about it, so I could see it going into the C tier, maybe below the Makarov, like right below the Makarov.
Just below Makarov? I gotcha. Yeah,
Yep, just below Makarov.
Some of these guns are definitely going to end up going into C tier because there's not really much you can really talk about in most cases. So
Yeah.
anyways, next up we have something that's definitely going into B tier or above. We have the PMM.
Everybody gangster to better pulls out the PMM.
And this has a very special thing about it. As to the reasons why it's going above into B tier, even if it is 9x18, this does have its own laser sight. To the point where a sight picture is not necessary, because you just point a laser and shoot. So, in terms of close quarters, this is, I think, essentially just a double stack Makarov, because it's a 12+1, and like I said, it's literally just a double stack Makarov with a laser sight on it, and that's pretty much it. So I would say, if anything, this would be B, maybe almost A tier.
Yeah, it's basically a Makarov with a higher ammunition capacity. Jesus. So I could see it being in. I wouldn't put it in A tier. I put it in B tier, and I would put it maybe right below. I could see putting it below the Browning.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'd say it's almost I'd say it definitely reached A tier just because you don't really have to do much to aim with it. But I can definitely see it being just below the Browning. That thing is extremely iconic, but in terms of functionality, it definitely earns a lot higher than basic C tier. And next up, I believe we do have another 22, but this time 22 Win Mag. So we have a 22 Winchester Magnum with the PMR-30. Spiced a little round, which actually has a 30+1 capacity.
30+1.
Oh yeah. There's a fuck ton of rounds in this bitch. And there it is.
God damn.
It is a spicy boy. And because we are also dealing with a new style of caliber.
Now, I have actually seen these in gun stores, and I always thought they looked odd. They are made by Keltec. Keltec is not. They're not. A terrible manufacturer. I've never actually owned any of the Keltec products. Some of their guns I think are odd.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of their guns do look odd. Like they do have one of their rifles where it's foldable, but it's like basically just a pistol with a long barrel and a stock on it. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Not saying they're bad guns. Keltec does make good shotguns though. They do make good shotguns. I'm sorry. Back to the pistol. I have seen these. They are, from the ones that I've seen, they are expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of these Keltecs will go for about $700, which is like a Glock 17 will go for like 500, maybe even 400.
Oh yeah, easily. These are. I can see these are extremely expensive guns. I would say, with the high round capacity, it does earn itself above D tier. It's not a basic 22, and it is. I have looked. It is said to be similar to about a 9mm, somewhat, with 22 Win Mag, and with the amount of rounds you're sending out, the amount of lead you're sending, this definitely earns itself into C tier. So where specifically should we put the PMR? So because I'm thinking with something like this,
I would say definitely above the. It is tough. I would say it does belong in C tier, but I don't know where it would belong in C tier. It's definitely above the Bergman, I'll tell you that.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely going above the Bergman. I'd say, if anything, it would probably be above the Imposter M9. Maybe above the Luger. I'm willing to say around that area. Like, is it better than the Luger?
I wouldn't put it above the Luger.
Okay.
No.
So that's where we'll put it there. So, Pocket Hammer 1903. We're not doing the 1906 because it's a 25. So, 25 ACP doesn't matter. 38 ACP is an important thing to talk about, though. So, the Pocket Hammer 1903. So, this thing is similar to the 1911. It's a 7+1, but in 38 ACP, and does not have a slide release.
It does not. So, the Pocket Hammer, it actually looks more... compared to the 1902, which was its predecessor, it actually looks closer to a 1911. I mean, honestly, like when you actually put them side by side, you can definitely tell that's not a 1911.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Like, in comparison to
but it definitely,
in comparison to
it definitely looks close enough.
Yeah, compared to like the 53, like it does somewhat look similar to the M9, but for something like this, you could easily tell.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they actually, the 38 was definitely, they actually don't make it anymore, if I'm correct.
Damn.
Because it was so long ago, and it just got phased out.
Yeah, I can see
so
that.
I'm pretty sure, like, you can still find it. I'm pretty sure there are people out there that still make 38 for this pistol, but it's like, I would say it's very rare to find that kind of ammunition.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, so where are we gonna put this, per se? Because I can't...
38...
I could see it maybe, like, under the P5, maybe?
I would put it in D tier.
Really? Say probably, like,
yeah.
Probably above the C93, I think. Would probably be a good spot for it.
Yeah.
Because I think 8mm Roth is kind of a powerful round.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll put it into there. So next up is the PPK, the old James Bond boy.
I would say S tier.
Okay, I will say, like, actually messing around with it a little bit and running with it, not exactly a great S tier. It's a 6+1 380 ACP. It's a small, compact little thing that definitely will work well, you know, but I think it's so freaking small. I wouldn't put it D tier, but I'm not putting it high up C tier. It's iconic, but for functionality, it's not going high. So obviously, I think everyone knows this is the classic
honestly,
James Bond pistol.
Yeah.
So yeah, the PPK is classic, iconic James Bond pistol. So
if we did put that in S tier, we'd have to move the 1911 and the C96 up there.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah, for sure. Because dear God.
So definitely high A tier.
I can see it
like
maybe
in between the C96 and the E11.
Yeah.
All right. So most likely, so is this going above the C96? Is the question. Like, is it above or below?
Well, see, here's the thing: is honestly, I'd put it below the C96.
I absolutely agree with it because it is greatly iconic, but that's mostly what it has going on for it.
But it's
380 just, it's not super great, you know? Like it's
not. Plus, you also have to realize that it's actually not as iconic as the C96.
Yeah. So I would say just because of how iconic it is, it's below the C96. So
yes.
Okay, next up is one that I think, I don't know if you know this one, Lux. It's the Px4 Storm.
Yes, the Px4 Storm. One of my friends actually owns one of these. She loves it. She thinks it's a fantastic pistol.
Yeah. It takes Brita 9mm, M9 mags, 9mm. It definitely works pretty nicely, and hell, it actually, I will admit, it actually does look really good. For anyone that has not seen it, this is the Px4 Storm. This honestly is, I'd say, like, when I was doing loadout stuff for Resident Evil PMC idea Dom came up with, I used this for Dom's pistol because there wasn't in high point just yet, which there is now, but only in 380. But I used this as something that it'd at least work. And it was as simple as you can get, and I used this for his high point because I know he'd use it for sure. He would take it with him. I got this And I'll admit, it's sexy as fuck compared to that bitch. It looks damn good.
Yeah, it's not a bad pistol. It's reliable. I would definitely put it. I would say possibly B tier.
Yeah, I'd say like sort of maybe mid B, I think.
Yeah, mid B.
Alright. So we'll go what? I think probably below max 9?
I would say in between the two Glocks.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. Because the G17 Custom is kind of a special sort of thing. So,
Yep.
Next up, we have the Ruby pistol. And no, it's not
Ruby pistol.
Yeah. So let me show you real quick. This is not anything along the lines of the. I don't know exactly what it's called, but this isn't like, you know, the fun Ruby. This is like the actual gun Ruby, which is this little thing in 32 ACP.
Yep.
It's a 9+1. Reload rating is pretty okay, but there is no slide release on it.
Oh god, it's French.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Oh, that looks like shit.
Actually,
it's
no.
French.
Yeah, actually, no.
That explains a lot, actually.
Actually, no. It's actually made by the Spanish. Oddly enough, it was adopted by the French Army though, in World War One. So, yeah.
Still looks like shit.
Yeah, made by the Spanish and used by the French. So, fuck.
If it was used by the French, I can guarantee you none of them were fired. They were most likely dropped on the ground when they surrendered. Anyway, I would say
this is probably gonna be D tier. I'm gonna be honest. This thing is not super great.
All right, let's see. Wars: World War I, Polish-Soviet War, Polish-Lithuanian War, the Rif War, whatever that. I actually haven't heard of that one. I might look that up later. The Spanish Civil War. That makes sense. Winter War and World War II.
Oh wait, hold on. So we have World War One. We have
In service.
Polish Soviet, Polish Lithuanian, the Rif War, which was 21 to 26 between the Spanish and the Berber tribes of the mountains Rif region in Morocco. The Spanish Civil War, the Winter War, also, which was, you know, where the great meme of when the tree starts speaking Finnish.
Yep.
And then there's World War II. So that's what we're looking at in terms of its service, which actually does have legitimate service, but it doesn't mean it's any better. It was decommissioned by the French in '58, so
Yes.
for the better.
Well, then again, it has lasted longer than some of the pistols in the C and B tier.
That is true, but that's because they were designed sooner, and
That is true.
I mean, it's around that, especially that time between like the 18 to mid 1900s have been like a lot of very serious big wars, and there's been a lot of stuff going on there. So makes sense that you know, a lot of older sort of pistols compared to nowadays would see a lot more service compared to some of the newer ones because they just haven't really been used in wars most of the time, or any sort of major conflicts, I suppose. But we're still dealing with the 32 ACP, so I'm kind of like, I can see high D tier for its service, but even still, I'd put it like above the Explorer 22 because it's 32.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm feeling. Just
Yeah, I'd say about mid D tier where it's at.
yeah. So the Ruby shall go there. Next up is the ST2111. A bit of a different sort of thing here. Which, similar to the Defender 45, I think. I believe that's a good sort of comparison because it is in 9mm. Actually, no, I think the Defender 45 is 45 ACB, but oh well. But anyways, ST2111. 9x18, 17 plus 1, and has good stats all around. There was no problems dealing with it. It also has little fiber sights, as you can see by that little bit of red right there.
It looks like a a somewhat futuristic version of a 1911.
It kind of does,
Which
honestly.
is essentially what it is. It's a modern variant of the 1911 A1.
Yeah, sure enough. 9mm modern variant of the 1911. Still a double stack magazine, made for competition shoots. So yeah, not really much said. So probably would put it. I feel like if anything, it'd probably go above the GSH or P5, I suppose. High round capacity, but not really. Maybe I put it a little higher, I suppose. Maybe above the PL14, maybe, but I don't know.
I would say above. Yeah, probably above the Lebedev.
Yeah. Nothing against it or anything, but it's honestly, it's a pretty capable little thing. So, with that all said and done, finally, we get to the Tech.
The one we've all been waiting to shit on.
All been waiting to absolutely shit on. The Tech 9. The Tech 9.
Okay, where the fuck do we start?
The most fucking iconic weapon from Detroit all the way to fucking West Side in California.
Yeah, let's be honest. Everyone knows what the fuck this is.
Stamp sheet metal.
We all know what it is. It's supposed to be a semi-automatic pistol. A lot of people
Did
will
not do that.
take it, modify it. Yeah, they did not do that. They went against the manufacturer's warranty and altered their pistols to be submachine guns.
But there are
machine
some,
pistols, if you will.
Yeah, but there are some actual pistol version of Tech 9s. They actually exist.
That may be true, but that doesn't still counter the fact that they are stamp metal piece of shit.
That is true. But sure enough, we
Like,
are
there are
taking
some
them.
stamp metal guns that I don't mind. There are quite a few I actually like. The Sten and the M3 grease gun, for example. I love those things. I love them.
They are actually.
I hate Tech 9.
Yeah, like, okay, hear me out. Literal Angry Tube was made with 45 ACPs. Those things work. The Tech 9 is
work
this
well.
tiny little piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit.
So, quickly going through, it was originally intended for, basically being used by the military, but it was a 9mm, and so the lack of interest was sent out.
What?
And so, they were sent off into the civilian market as kind of a...
Yes, I filled them
little-
up.
As an interesting little semi-auto pistol. People immediately went and fucked around and made it fucking an actual SMG. So they made an open bolt version. Because 9mm, easy as ever, bada bing, bada boom, you're set to fucking go. That's just how it is. What more do you expect of this thing? So, to go through stats, we have a 32+1 capacity. I think the largest capacity out of all of these, that are still pistols, mind you, I think it's safe to say this is definitely going in F tier. Is it enough to be put in cursed tier?
The Tech 9.
It was in California. Add California tier.
Yeah, add a California tier. I mean, you might as well add a California/Detroit tier.
Oh, fuck it. You know what? No, I'm making it a Detroit tier.
Detroit tier.
It is not California. It is Detroit. Fuck you. And I'm making it black because
There we
Make it
go.
make it like fucking lavender colored. Make it that fucking lavender color.
Lavender colored brother.
Detroit. And throw that other Tech 9 looking piece of crap in there too.
Well, this is the illegal version, but I mean, I feel that.
And it goes to the same fucking spot.
Oh, hang
That
on,
is
no.
true. There you go.
For the illegal version, you need to put a West Side tier.
Would that be above or below Detroit?
That's the question. I'm not bothering.
Fucking
Or you
Detroit
could just
National Movie.
or you could just do Detroit/West Side.
There you go.
All right, fuck it.
There you
know
go.
what?
Detroit/.
There we go. Detroit/West Side.
There
That's
you
where,
go.
that's where it
There you
is.
go.
Just not even.
I
gonna
don't
bother
know.
with any of
I
that
don't know if we're crossing a line with this joke or not, but
We're not.
shit. We're not, because let's be
And if
honest.
people
I think
say
it's
we are, they
terrible.
can go ahead and suck my hairy Norwegian ass.
I mean, because we're not. We're not wrong.
We're not wrong.
What?
We're
They
not.
can boo
I
us all
wouldn't
they
say-
want. All they want. We're not wrong.
I wouldn't say we're necessarily in the right either, though. But
Who gives a
You
shit?
should give me a hand.
fuck it. All
Fuck
right,
it.
next gun.
All right, next gun we have the TT33. This is the Tokarev.
Tokarev. Isn't that the one that has the integrated suppressor?
No,
No.
that would be
Which
the
one was
that would actually be the Makarov PB, I believe it is.
Oh.
So
Well,
Yep.
yeah, we've already dealt with the Makarov PM, which is the regular variant. The PB is the silence
That
variant.
wasn't the bandage I was pushing.
Oh god, I could just imagine.
So
Who here remembers fucking Zach's gun rant? Did you shoot him with a Tokarev? That was a Tokarev.
it possibly was. So the Tokarev is in 7.62 by 25, which is better than a 9mm, naturally, because it is a
Okay.
smaller round going a lot faster.
Got that. I
Little
need to
bit
be checking
spicier.
for that fucking tape.
So I might put it up into B tier.
I could definitely see that for
It's
sure.
not going any higher because it's Russian.
Russian, but at the same time, these sites are honestly pretty incredible. But
Wait, see, here's the,
It's a cheap Russian piece of shit.
I would put it in the A tier.
Really?
A tier.
I would put it in at the bottom of A tier though.
Yeah, bottom right tier. Okay. that's better.
I can definitely see that because like we got some pretty
Yeah.
we got pretty sparse with calibers here and everything. But I can definitely see like lowest
Maybe if
A tier.
they got rid of that fucking star on the handle, maybe it would be higher
Make
A
it
tier.
make it
But-
anywhere else, but Russia.
Any kind of commie signal or symbol. No, thank you.
Fuck
It
the
goes to
commie.
the bottom of the tier.
There's also 2 stars, oddly enough, on there. So
So yeah, it's commie.
it's definitely commie. But honestly, I kind of do like
If it
the
works so
7.62
good,
by
I'd
25.
say F.
I definitely kind of like the 7.62
Actually-
Tokarev. So, but we will put it into A tier at the bottom of A
Bottom
tier.
right tier.
You know what we should have done? We should have made a Brazil tier.
That is
That would just
well.
be capped
that-
off for one. Like,
Honestly,
That's what
Honestly,
no,
it is.
change the Detroit West Side one. It makes more sense if it's Brazil.
Brazil tier.
Brazil.
Brazil tier.
I kind of like having Detroit West Side, but you know what? Fuck it, Brazil.
Just fucking send this shit to
There.
Brazil.
You are going to Brazil.
Believe it or not, straight to Brazil.
Believe it or not, straight to Brazil. Okay,
So, does that mean the Digalov or whatever the fuck it is? The fucking Diglett?
The Diglett?
the
Does the
Diglett.
Diglett go to Brazil?
Yeah. No, because then we'd have to get
Okay.
rid of the cursed tier. Well, I mean, Okay, but would
I
it
mean,
be above or
there-
below the Tech 9s?
There's
I want to talk a couple of things here. To
Moving
get
on.
back on track, let's talk about the USB match and USB tactical. So,
No, I thought we were doing the Welrod.
no, we're not
no,
doing the
we're not.
just yet.
We're saving that one.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
saving
no,
that
we're
one.
not.
Well,
Okay.
I'm willing to put it into D tier, which is as far as it'll go. It's not when you I'm
Yeah,
not,
it's D tier.
Well, let's save the Welrod for last.
Yeah.
Let's decide on it last.
yeah. So,
All right. What's
So-
next?
so we have the USP match and USP tactical both. So we're dealing with the USP match 9mm and the USP tactical as the 45. Because there is
Wasn't the USB match the gun in Half-Life 2?
yes,
It is.
it very much
Yeah,
is.
okay.
So
All right. S tier. S tier. No,
There you go.
no. I will listen. I'm going to die on this fucking hill. If it's good enough for Gordon Freeman, it's good enough to go into S tier. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Even
actually something I can agree with.
All
That
right.
shit wiped the
Withers
Combine.
agrees. Withers agrees. I agree. 2 against 1.
God damn it.
S
dude.
tier.
Fuck.
It's our first S tier.
Our first actual S tier. We're
It
this
has to
deep
be the
in.
match variant,
The
not
Half-Life
the other
The
2
variant.
match, not the tactical.
The
So-
Half-Life 2 Gordon Freeman pistol is the fucking workhorse of Half-Life. Okay.
That is fair.
No-
I will admit.
It is.
I have
It is.
played-
It is the classic Half-Life workhorse.
Half-Life
There's
2.
no surpassing it.
Yeah, it is. In
Half-Life
fact,
2,
yeah,
because in the
it
first
is-
Half-Life
None of these guns have killed more head crabs
or
than the
Combine.
Half-Life pistol.
Yes.
Anything.
Or
Really?
Combine.
All right.
Or
fuck it.
Combine. Yes.
Fuck it. S tier.
S tier.
Absolute top
First S
notch.
tier.
It's good enough for
USP
Gordon
match.
Freeman. It's good enough for S tier.
That's fair. So, all right, the USP tactical. Where are we putting that then?
That would be considering it's got the same it's got a tied to its legacy that's tied to the USP match. It would be an A tier, but we don't see it.
That is true. So probably A tier. Fucking. You
Bottom.
know what? I mean, honestly, I'm kind of
A
feeling
tier
like
below
probably,
below 10 millimeter.
So even going above the 1911s, I can see
No.
that.
A tier below the no. Put it below the M1911s, but put it above the C96.
Both 1911s. My goodness. I'd be willing to put it above the classic 1911s, but not above
Connor.
Connor.
2 World Wars. Okay.
Not only 2 World Wars, when the 1911 was being phased out, all special forces basically rallied and said, no, we want our own 1911. So they have their own model 1911, which is still in service for U.S. Special Forces.
They do.
Yeah, that's true.
They're actually really nice.
So,
they're hell.
They're very fucking nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So what's this next pitch?
So the next one we have here is, pull this up for you boys. This is the VP9. This is a 9x19 again, 15 plus 1.
Okay, it looked like a Glock initially, so that's why I was a little worried.
Yeah, no, it's not a Glock thing.
No. Oh.
So pretty nice stats overall.
But still another polymer body. And I have an issue with polymer body.
Curious, what's with the double trigger?
I feel like
that's the safety feature. You find them on Glocks too.
Oh,
yeah. It's just
they make sure it only goes off when you're actually pulling the trigger, not anytime else.
Yeah.
So if that's
depressed.
If that's on there, then that means that it doesn't have an actual safety on it, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and I actually have a very similar sort of. I mean, not really too much. I have a nice little airsoft variant of that actually has the exact same thing. So this one does have a safety on it, but it's a little tiny thing that's hard to pull. So a nice little thing is that if that little extra trigger, it's like in the middle. But if that isn't pulled, then the actual trigger itself can't be pulled. But as soon as that gets in, it totally unlocks and you can pull the trigger. I have a little.
Yep.
So I would put that in high B, low A, personally.
Seriously? I mean.
But again, me issues with polymer bodies. Okay, that's just me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean,
I would say put it.
I'd say honestly,
I would put it between the Browning and between the double stack Makarov.
Really? I was honestly thinking you guys would probably go for C, because it is very cookie cutter. This thing is pretty similar.
It may
to
be
most
cookie cutter,
else.
but it's got better safety features.
That is true, but a lot of other. Well, I guess not many others. Actually.
Oh, hang on. There is one gripe I have about it, and again, it's the magazine release. But this one's chambered in 9mm, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad per se. So we're putting it below the Browning. My goodness, I'm kind of surprised actually.
Again, our fucking Lord and Savior John Moses Browning.
Indeed, must be.
Is that what I think it is?
What, this one right here?
Yeah, is that what I think it is?
This is the Webley 1913.
Okay.
So.
Thank God. I was about to have a fucking aneurysm.
It's not.
You would have heard some very colorful language if it was what I thought it was.
Literally would have actually been put. I mean, fuck. Where would you put that? I have to ask.
Oh, the fucking Nambu number.
The Nambu, yeah.
It's chambered in 32 ACP.
The Nambu number 4, straight to Brazil.
Straight to Brazil.
Bottom of Brazil.
Hang on.
So real quick.
Probably
hang
no.
on a second.
You need to make a whole new tier that's 5 different tiers down. Call it Tojo shit.
No, it's a British pistol. Yeah, Brazil.
I'm talking the fucking.
It's also chambered in 32.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that thing's disgusting.
Mind you,
it's F tier.
It's like, I'm just looking at it. It looks like a fucking Luger knockoff.
I mean, it kind
I
of.
don't even see the full picture.
There's a 455 version.
Yes, that's the one we're talking about.
That's the one we're talking about.
There's a 455 Webley Auto. That's the one we're talking about specifically. And I actually have to look into this to see what it is capable of. So, Webley Auto. Nothing really special, but it is pretty deadly. From the looks of it. Nothing against armor, but
I'm an idiot.
Capable.
I thought it was chambered in 32. What the hell?
No, this thing is 455
Okay.
Webley Auto. So, it's a nice 7+1. It's definitely a weird sort of looking gun.
Okay, I'm an idiot. I read something wrong then.
Okay, if it was in 32, I was going to say no, F tier.
Yeah, total F tier, but no, this is 455 Webley.
Yeah, no, my bad. I was looking at the Mark I. That it entered police service in 1911 in a 32 ACP model for the London Metropolitan Police.
Yeah. And they
My
used,
bad.
Yeah,
That's what I read.
and they used the 1913 variant in the Royal Navy. So that's kind of an interesting little thing. Yeah, so there's actually some pretty interesting little things here and there.
Her Majesty's.
Indeed, Her Majesty's Seamen actually used this thing. Yes. So
I don't think it's Her Majesty anymore.
well,
Brother in Christ, just look like I give a shit.
I mean,
Like, if you really want my Irish heritage start coming out, I'll tell you.
there is no Tooth Fairy, there is no Easter Bunny, and there is no Queen of England.
that is now actually a true statement. Oh fuck.
Yeah, Megamind just keeps getting funnier every single year.
Literally, when it first came out, it was
It's like a
predicted
fine
it-
wine.
Megamind predicted the death of Queen Elizabeth.
Well, not only predicted, it didn't exactly say specifically when, but they knew that it would happen. Except it didn't, because she's still alive somewhere. As to where she is or how she's still alive, we don't know. She's not human.
She's still alive.
She couldn't get the knife out of her husband.
Yeah.
We all know she was a necromancer, okay?
Yeah.
She was just draining the life out of her husband.
Anyways,
Oh.
so, it was actually also dubbed into the Royal Horse Artillery and Flying Corps. Very interesting. So, where exactly are we putting this thing? I would say this definitely would probably work in B tier and C tier, because it's pretty much no different, but it is different in its looks. But it's also British and looks very weird. So,
I mean, British kind of brings it down to the bottom of
It does look very British, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. It's very boxy.
It's like if
and
you ask
barrel.
if you ask a British child to draw a gun.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like if I held this gun, my
Like
teeth would
damn thing.
immediately start getting crooked.
Yeah, I feel
And
that.
I'd immediately start drinking tea.
I mean, does it?
I say we make a British tier and put it below Brazil.
But
All in favor,
No.
say aye.
No.
come on, Irish, come on, Connor, let your Irish heritage
I'm
come
not
out.
letting the Irish heritage kind of mess with this sort of thing. All right.
Oh, fine. Let your Scots heritage come out and tell you the fucking truth.
Oh, I will fucking
Fuck
show
the
you.
British.
I was showing you actual Scots heritage right up your arse, you end up talking that stuff. Anyways,
Which one should I
Fuck
take
the
out?
British.
Oh
I have to ask the question: are we willing to put it possibly above the Bergman, or is it going below it?
It's going below it.
Was the Bergman? The Bergman was it? It was German, right?
It was American.
It was American.
It was American. Oh yeah, definitely below the Bergman.
Fuck.
I think the Bergman was American.
Hold on, let me look. I'm gonna look at this real quick.
Yeah, let's fact check real quick before we make a mistake.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Doesn't say specifically.
Hang on a
Manufacturer was
second.
Waffen
Let me
Fabric
see.
Bergman. So there's that.
I'm pretty sure he's German.
Nope, that's German.
And it
Doesn't
could
look
also
like
be Dutch.
That is true. Let's have a look here.
Well,
Developed by a German
either way,
designer.
it's British, so it's definitely going below.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So developed by a
doesn't
German
matter.
designer and sold by Theodore Bergman.
The only thing that would go below it is something that's French.
Yeah,
And lo and
something
behold, the
is.
French thing is already down below it.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
in D tier where
The
it
French
belongs.
gun's already below it.
So we'll stick it
Yep.
C tier. It's a capable gun. Don't get me wrong, but below the Bergman.
You know, that does bring up a problem, though. That does bring up a
Yep,
problem.
no,
The
that-
Welrod does better than that.
It is not
That is true.
French. It is
That
not
is-
German. It is Belgian.
What is?
The Bergman.
It's
Oh,
Belgian?
it's
Oh, yeah,
Belgian.
it's definitely
Belgian.
those are British.
Instinct establishments PPR.
It's
Hyster
definitely
Belgium.
better than.
All right then.
All right, there's still the Welrod.
That is
Hey, the
true.
Welrod is actually not bad.
Okay,
The
the
Welrod
Welrod
is actually
shit.
the Welrod
Not
is
bad.
actually battle proven. I will give it that.
The Welrod is
battle-
battle
hey,
proven,
it's
but
like, hey.
functionally,
Wacky as what it is. Do not diss on the bolt action pistol.
We're not dissing on it. It's cursed, but it's not bad
okay,
cursed.
it's cursed, but it's not terribly cursed. I would be willing to put it
just-
somewhere in D
It
tier.
looks
Wait,
It
hang on,
looks-
we could give it we could make a blurst tier. Blurst.
Yeah,
Okay,
blurst.
you know what? Here. hang
Functional,
on.
I would put the Welrod solid C. Solid C.
Here, you know what? We'll make a blurst here for this specifically, and we'll color it a little bit differently because it's bordering on like, yes, it's good, but it's not great.
It's blurst.
But
But it performs better than F tier. It does its job.
it does do its job. That is fair to say.
Like F tier is you're better off hitting them with the gun.
Yeah, like F tier it works, but at what cost? And admittedly, like
The Welrod worked.
okay, you know what? Honestly, I'm willing to say it's high F tier because it
End of
does
story.
work, and it's the quietest gun in the game. It is cool, but at what cost? I ran with it, and
What cost? Connor,
I-
as long as you don't get detected, you're
That
shooting motherfuckers in the back of the head.
that is true, and I did fuck that up. But it still was at what cost, especially when you are going to get spotted, especially in a take and hold bit. It worked, and it definitely was really fun to work with. And
You
I
only just run with one gun and take and hold? No. Did you ever just run with one gun? No.
well, no, but I
Yeah.
did anyways, and I
Welrod.
showed that at the very least, with my skill, I
Well,
was
because you're a
able.
dumbass.
I did pull off two. I did pull hold 2 and won that. Hold 3 would have fucking killed me easily.
Okay,
But-
I do have to ask the question: is that the Welrod
Yeah.
Mark I or Mark II? Okay,
It's
so that's
well-
the 32
It is the
Yeah.
Welrod Mark II. So now,
So here,
from design,
Here's the
but
thing.
it was taken
What-
by the.
what tier were you guys originally gonna put the what?
the
D tier? No way, no, it can't. It can't
say,
go
like-
into D tier because it has to be above the fucking British pistol.
I'd say
It is
That's
British.
fair.
It is
definitely
British, but I'd say
Oh yeah, never mind.
like a
But it's
solid,
better.
solid C, no higher than that, because it's a
Okay,
good gun. I'd want it on my side for certain things, but I
Hang
have
on.
better options.
yes,
I
that's true.
would take the Welrod and I would put it. It's the one gun I would take and put above the
Yeah.
Bergman. The one British gun.
at least one. Okay, so
Yeah, I would agree.
so
Oh my
It's
god!
a
Just
solid C.
so
just
would
just
we-
wait till we get to the assault rifles.
Oh lord, no,
Oh,
that's
God.
gonna be fun.
Oh my
it's
god!
gonna
I'm
take
gonna.
a little bit. because
Oh
we-
my god!
So real quick, so
That's gonna
the
get heated.
so the Webley 1913 is staying below the Bergman.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
so
The Welrod is going above the Bergman.
Okay,
The
so-
Welrod is going above the Bergman.
No,
not because
Webley stays
no.
below the
yeah, sorry.
Bergman.
So the Webley
Connor.
stays below.
Welrod.
Are we gonna put?
Welrod.
Are we willing to put it down
Welrod
Goes above the
goes
Bergman.
above the Bergman.
Okay, but the question is, are we going to put it anywhere lower into like D tier? Is the question. Because we do have the 1912.
Well,
there,
it
but
has
only
to
because
be
of
above the
functionality.
French pistol.
That is true. So it has to be about here. So is it better or worse than the Borchardt, the C93?
Wait, say again?
So the C93, is the Webley 1913 better or worse than it?
It's called the
I'd
C.
Yeah,
say it's
what?
at the bottom of C only by the grace of it's got a big round at the moment for a
Yeah,
pistol.
but that's
does?
really about it. And honestly, there's
particular
also
one.
there's also an 8mm Roth, I think it is, or what is it? Fuck, I have to look. God damn it. 1912.
Look.
So no, it's 9x23 Steyr. Excuse me. So we have a 9x23 Steyr in D tier, mostly because of functionality. So there is that. So the question is like, so obviously it's gonna have to be a like we have an interesting range. So is it good enough to be in C tier below the Bergman, or is it just shit enough to be like above possibly? Because British.
Okay,
Is
we're
it
still
enough
talking about
to be-
we're still talking about the Webley.
Or
the whatever it is,
the
the-
Webley, yeah, the Webley. So, are we gonna put it into D tier above the
Yeah,
C93?
Webley is D tier. I would say D tier above the C93. Yes.
Okay, so above the C93. I won't put it above the Pocket Hammer because that's not terrible per se.
Yeah.
So
Now,
now,
for the Welrod, last of the
Welrod,
pistols, that is solidly above the Bergman.
definitely above
So
the
it's
Bergman.
not dead
So
last.
It's not dead last, but it still deserves C because of what it can do. It is the quietest pistol in the game, just ahead of the
So the
OTS 38.
quietest
I
pistol
believe it
ever.
is. It is the quietest pistol in the entire game, just above the OTS 38.
The world.
In the world especially, but it's also above the OTS 38, which was an extremely silent revolver. So the question is, where is it going in C tier or possibly above? Because I can definitely see it C tier. It isn't exactly meant to be
Just
used by itself. That's
Just
the big thing.
above the Bergman, that's what I'm telling you.
All right, we'll put it just above there. So that's where it goes. And that ends the semi-auto pistols entirely. But I'd be lying if I kind of wanted to go back and do this again. Because it's actually been quite some time since we even did this recording session in general. And as plenty of comments have pointed out, some opinions are definitely not exactly in the right sort of spot. And even I can agree with that. Hell, this entire tier list was recorded on the 22nd of December of last year. I definitely had quite a bit of work just to go through with not only going back and seeing everything we did and even watching all of the cringe things we said and put into tier lists, but I also had to re-record a lot of the footage. After redoing a lot of the footage and redoing runs just to see what exactly it's like, I have a few changes in opinion. So I figured I'd go and do an entire tier list all by myself and redo it to make it look quite a bit better at least. So here's how the actual tier list looks at first. This is what we finally decided upon. And here is the new version I decided to put together myself. I'll go ahead and go through all the different changes that have been made. First things first, there was the Mark 22 Mod 0. This one's slightly surprising, but there was a pretty good reason as to why, and I think some footage does show why the Mark 22 Mod 0 was changed. It was demoted from C tier, as it was just a simple 9mm, but was put down to D tier just below the 1912. The reason for that is because there's no slide lock on it, and I didn't even realize it back when we first recorded this, but after going through and rerunning that, I found out that there's actually quite a few problems with that, and it definitely messes with me pretty bad. Next up was the order of 22 LRs, and I am willing to put a little bit higher the Explorer 22 compared to all other 22 LRs. It does have a 25+1 magazine, and that's pretty good. That doesn't really put it any higher than, say, the C93, because it's still a 22 LR. I will admit, the hypervelocity hollow points are good. I even use them, actually. That doesn't mean it's not 22. So the order for now is going to be the Explorer 22, the P22 because of its modability, the Match 22, the Mark IV, and the Mark III. Next up is the PMR 30. This was promoted to a much higher point on the C tier because, well, we have 30 rounds to work with. It's similar to a 5.7, just, well, in 22 Win Mag. Pretty good though. The Luger was also promoted to a higher C tier because I think it definitely deserves a little bit more credit. It's pretty cool, at least. I think history tells its own tale. Next up, the P226. This was promoted actually from C tier to B tier, because honestly, the P226 is actually pretty rad, I'll admit. After that, the G17 Custom was put in from B tier to A tier. I'll admit, I did admittedly put my personal favorite gun, the 1911 A1 Tactical, into S tier. So I felt like I had to do my own due diligence and put the G17 up higher. Much higher, even into A tier. But I'm not putting it with the 1911 A1 Tactical because the actual integrated optic on it is not exactly as great. The way that the optic looks is a lot tighter and more restrictive, but the dot looks a lot better on the G17 compared to the 1911 Tactical, which is much more open and is a lot bigger. That's my big gripe. After that, the PMM was put up to a higher A tier because, well, it has an integrated laser. I think it definitely deserves a little bit more credit. The 5.7 was sadly not able to make it into S tier. despite a lot of people going and probably still going to rage against me, I'm willing to say if the USP Match 9mm was not in S tier, the 5.7 would most certainly earn its S tier for sure. So I am putting it to honorary S tier. The only reason why I'm not putting the USP Match probably down in like B tier at best. If it's good enough for Gordon Freeman, it's good enough for me. And finally, the Cyber Pistol, promoted from A tier to S tier. This was most certainly in part because of my run getting turbo penetrators. Granted, it is only a chance, and that's also the reason why the 5.7 also has an honorary S tier. It's only because the effectiveness of a round not only depends on what it's capable of penetrating through, especially when it comes to tier 2 and tier 3 armor, but also the chance of getting it. You could easily mess that up badly and not even have a good chance at all. But at the same time, you can still at least have a chance where you do get it, and you're all set. It is all based on random chance, and that even goes with the Cyber Pistol too. I was lucky to get the turbo penetrators, and there's quite a few other different rounds as well, but it's also the variety of rounds that makes it a lot better too. But that's it. That is the tier list, and I think I'm mostly satisfied with this. As we've said before, if at all you disagree with any of this, by all means, go on to Tier Maker and make your own tier list. There's nothing at all wrong with that. It should be open for anyone and everyone to use, change, and make for themselves. By all means, if you want to, you can go and make one of your own, you can record it with yourself or friends, what have you.